All right, so I thought I'd test out some of the products that were in the Art Snacks this month. So this is actually not QOR, it's just core. So, oh my goodness, be careful when you open that. It'll come right out, probably from the pressurization of being mailed. Now I've already wet and kind of rinsed off the paintbrush. If you notice, especially when you get new paintbrushes, they feel kind of hard and crunchy. That's because they have soap on them. It helps keep the bristles in a nice tip so you don't have strays. So if you want to keep your paintbrushes having this nice tip or a nice flat feel to them, after you finish washing them and everything, take a little bit, I know I'm talking like just a thin amount of soap, and form your paintbrush back to a tip, and it'll kind of, it's not glued, but it'll definitely hold it to where it's going to stay at a nice point a little bit longer. So that's just a little friendly tip, but you always want to go on ahead and rinse off your paintbrush before you stab it into some paint. So let's see how nice this watercolor is. Oh, it looks absolutely beautiful. Oh man, look at that. That is gorgeous. It just is so bright, and it really holds its color, even though I pull a lot of it, and a little bit goes a long way with this paint. So this is really high quality watercolor. I'm very pleased with this. I just started getting back into watercolor, so I probably will give this brand a try on getting some more colors. So this paintbrush does really well. It's nice and balanced. It's got a taper to it on both ends, so it's really comfortable to hold in your hand without being humongous. Most of my paintbrushes are really long, so this feels really great, and the watercolor is absolutely beautiful. So let's try out this Pentel hybrid Techna pen. It says that you don't have to cap it between each use. It's actually made to not gunk up or dry out. It's also made with archival ink, and it is water resistant. So that's really awesome, because most of my other Pentel pens are not water resistant. They bleed really badly. So let's, oh, that's, now you only get a thin line with this, so this is going to be used for like detailed work. So let's, oh, wonderful, look at that. This watercolor is still pretty, it's not super dry, but it's still a little bit damp, and this pen is just working beautifully on it. So that is fantastic. So these three products are amazing. I really, really like these. Let's test out this. Now this is brush cleaner. Most of the time I'm kind of cheap, and I just use unscented Dove soap when I wash my paintbrushes. Probably not the best, but I like the fact that it kind of helps keep the bristles relaxed. But I've never really used watercolor brush cleaner, and this is nice little travel size. So let's see. It says to make sure that your brush doesn't have like tons and tons of paint on it, because otherwise you are going to get just blue soap basically. So get a little bit of water on here, and you just rub it until you get a little bit of a lather. Now when you clean your brushes, this is another tip for if you want to start doing any kind of brush work. You don't want to stab and then spread out your paintbrushes in a really nasty looking just fray, because that will ruin your paintbrushes. And you always want to use cold water, because if you use hot water, you might get the paint off, but you also warm up the glue that is holding in your bristles, and your bristles will start to fall out. So always use cold water, and instead of stabbing and smushing it around, always go back and forth, and if you can, get a little bit and then just go back and forth in your hand. This will help keep your paintbrushes lasting a lot longer, and especially since most paintbrushes run anywhere from $10 all the way up to $50, but depending on what kind of bristles there are on them, you don't want to mess up your paintbrushes and be constantly rebuying them. Right, so you can kind of see a little bit of soap there. It says once you start seeing a lather and it's gone clear, you should be able to rinse out your paintbrush. Oh, fantastic. And there, that is nice. I'm gonna have to try this out on some of my white tip paintbrushes and see if I can get some of the stain out. So that is a really good thing. Thank you, artsnacks, for that. Now let's take a look at this bonus item. It says on the paper, if you didn't get a chance to read it, that it is non-porous, water-resistant polypropylene blend, so you can wipe it clean after you've laid down paint. Now, I don't really know about that for watercolor paper, but it might be fun, so I ripped out a little bit. Like I said, it feels almost like plastic. It's very, very smooth. I mean, it almost feels like wet erase marker paper, if there is such a thing. So let's test this out. It says that it is for watercolor. Oh man, it does not absorb at all. Now, if you can tell a difference between this paper, it just sucked up the ink and you can get some really dark spots. This, it pushes it around quite a lot. I would guess that you would have to really let this dry before you attempted to paint more on top of it. So let's, oh yeah. So that just really, it really does just wipe right off. I don't know if I really like that. It would be fun to use. I'm going to try using it, see how I feel about that, but I don't know. I don't know if this one's a winner for me. I'm kind of glad that this was not, that this was kind of a bonus. It kind of feels like it doesn't really hold all that well for my paint. It says that it works really well with alcohol-based markers. So I might try this with my Copex. That might be a little bit more fun, but I don't know how I would use this. So we'll try this out. All right, so that's all the products in this month's Art Snacks used and shown in this for you guys. So now I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do some artwork. I just wanted to test them out and let you guys see the quality.